Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Um, we are talking about the 1910s in film, and this one was a struggle. I just finished it, like always, before I start recording. Um, this one was tough. This one really was tough. I don't even have them in the right spot. Um, hmm, that one's gonna be higher up. That one's gonna be lower. Ah, shit. Yeah, this is all out of whack. Um, it was really hard because we have more original content being produced, not just adaptations, but original content. Of course, you got your Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hydes, you've got your Cinderellas, you got whatever, whatever. But you have some original content as well. This one's not original, but this one's one of the most noteworthy. It's at the bottom of my list though because for the controversial, the controversy. It's a controversial film. It's The Birth of a Nation. I remember reading about this in African American Studies, which then became Cultural Studies, which was just African American Studies, calling itself something different. Um, it's a Klan movie. It's a movie about the Klan. It's not cool, but some people say it's a damn good film. The cinematography is excellent. You can still ingest this kind of media without agreeing with it. D.W. Griffith has released a lot of films in the 1910s. That's when he like debuted, I guess. Um, so it's pretty interesting. Just for like historical context, I had to put it on the list. It's like the most noteworthy film out of any of these. Out of any of these. I guess number nine will put Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Fantastical film. Whatever. Moving on. Um, I'll put Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde above that one because we've already had tons and tons of adaptations of that. Specifically the 1912 version because the makeup looks impeccable, looks excellent. Um, so that's why that one goes next. Um, I'm just gonna start erasing these just to make it easier. I'm just picking off of a list right now. Um, What else sounds good off of this list? What sounds like the next course of action? I guess because I know we get so much better. So much better. You know what? I'll bite the bullet. Beauty and the Beast. I have to put Beauty and the Beast in there. It's one of my favorite stories. I always have to put a Beauty and the Beast. And luckily, it looks like there was only one Beauty and the Beast adaptation in the 1910s. So there we go. I'm gonna do the I'm gonna do the Wonderful Wizard of Oz is next. Yes, I'm gonna do the Wonderful Wizard of Oz because I know we get better. I know we get so much better. So we're gonna put that one. And then Save from the Titanic. I'll do that one next. Because Save. No, we'll do. This is an interesting one. Damn it, we're all over the place. 'Cause I just like dropped the ball on like two. I just started naming all of it. Okay, we're gonna do number six. Yeah, number six is gonna be Indian Romeo and Juliet. Okay, Indian Romeo and Juliet because it's so crazy to me. I'm looking through all these, and another thing that we talk about woke nowadays. We talk about how why are we swapping genders and why are we swapping races and blah blah blah. I've noted three interesting films that I want to talk about right now because on the subject of race swapping. 1915, 19 whatever, whatever. What year was this? I just shared like three of them back to back to back. In 1918, we had Black Sherlock Holmes, and it's a comedy because haha, black man, funny, funny, and it looks like an actual black actor um, did this. It doesn't look like makeup. It could be makeup as well. They could have exaggerated the features, but it's crazy that they made a film called Black Sherlock Holmes, and people were like, "I'll watch that." Yeah, like, and yeah, it's a comedy, but it's like that's crazy. Then they made Indian Romeo and Juliet, which for all intents and purposes looks like a serious film. And it's about two people from different tribes that are warring with each other. They don't like each other. And then it's Romeo and Juliet, both Indians, Native Americans. It's crazy. It's crazy that they did this. This is 1912, Indian Romeo and Juliet. And in 1915, they made a film entitled Miss Jekyll and Madam Hyde. Gender swapping Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I guess this was more of a take on Faust than it was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which is kind of odd. It's what it states in there too. It's like, oddly enough, it's very weird adaptation. Um, but yeah, because it's white actors with like red makeup or brown makeup or whatever, it falls down the list for me. But it's pretty interesting that they were doing race swaps back then. And like, woke wasn't a thing back then. No one was talking about that shit. No one was complaining. Um, how do you know you weren't back there? Okay, if they were complaining, it was drown the fuck out. They still made money off of that. I don't think a lot of people were crying, is what I'm saying. Like, how dare you? I'm boycotting. I'm burning my Nike sneakers. Um, we are on what, number 6 now? Oh wait, I mean number 4. Um, shit. I guess we'll go Frankenstein. Um, I love Frankenstein. I think it's an amazing masterpiece. So I think an adaptation makes sense. I'm glad that they only have one adaptation in the 1910s. Yes, we do get better, but I want to see how they do that back then. It's very interesting to me how they do special effects and all that. We'll do Save from the Titanic. I'm surprised it's made it up so high, honestly. It's interesting because Save from the Titanic is a film about an actual person who survived the Titanic. I think it stars someone that did. Saved. Yeah, it's a lost 1912 film. Starring Dorothy Gibson, an American film actress who survived the sinking of the RMS Titanic. Premiering in the United States just 31 days after the event, it was the earliest dramatization of the tragedy. Gibson had been one of 28 people aboard the first lifeboat to be launched from the Titanic and was rescued about 5.5 hours after leaving the ship. On returning to New York City, she co-wrote the script and played a fictionalized version of herself. The plot involves her recounting the story of the disaster to her fictional parents and fiancé, with the footage interspersed with stock footage of icebergs, Titanic's sister ship Olympic, and the ship's captain Edward Smith. To add to the film's authenticity, Gibson wore the same clothes as on the night of the disaster. The filming took place in a Fort Lee, New Jersey studio. The film was released internationally and attracted large audiences and positive reviews, though some criticized it for commercializing the tragedy so soon after the event. Damn. It is now regarded as a lost film, as the last known prints were destroyed in the Eclair studio fire in March 1914. Only a few printed stills and promotional photos are known to survive. It is Gibson's final film, as she reportedly suffered a mental breakdown after completing it. I would imagine so. You survived a tragedy, and your first thought was, "How do I capitalize on this?" Like, you got to survive. You got to survive. You're on the first lifeboat. You privileged bitch. Ooh, I'd be pissed. Ooh. There are people who have died from this. There's so many people that died in the sinking of the Titanic, and you made a movie. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, it deserves to be this high. That's crazy. Yurie Yashiki. I know I butchered that. It's Japanese for a haunted house. I was like, ooh, a Japanese film. And it was funny. I didn't like pay attention to any other Japanese films. That one just stood out to me. I love Japanese media, so I think it would be really interesting to see how they did that back then. This is like World War I era, isn't it? 1910s. We're entering in that at least. That's crazy, man. That's wild, dude. I can't imagine being in like an actual like war setting and being like, let's go to the movies. Like, Shit, let's get our minds off of this. This is hard out here. It's shitty. Let's go watch some movies. I'll be too busy like fuck like all the time. Damn. Surprisingly, number one for me is The Sea Wolf. I've read this book by Jack London. A very very wonderful read. I would love to see how they adapted it. They made a couple adaptations. This is the first time it's been adapted. Yeah, that's cool. The Sea Wolf, about a guy who is privileged, goes on a boat with a bunch of people. There's a guy on the boat. The captain is certifiably insane, very scary, but also a very good guy once you get to know him. But also like he's fucking crazy. Do you want to fuck around and find out with this guy? And that's what happens. He ends up getting into a kind of a skirmish with this guy. Um, pretty dope novel. Very very old, right? If they're adapting this back in the 1900s, 1910s. Um, that's my 1910s. I know, kind of all over the place. Top 10 films in the 1910s. I haven't seen a single damn one. We're going into the 1920s, and I believe I have seen some films in the 1920s. Ooh, also should mention a lot of films, a lot of short films from Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin. It's crazy to put Buster Keaton before Charlie Chaplin, but I love Buster Keaton. I love Chaplin as well. I love both of them. I think they're worth mentioning. There is some animation. I just saw Coco the Clown and Felix the Cat animated serials. That's crazy. Um, so yeah, we'll talk about the 1920s next, and then we have the 30s, 40s, 50s. I believe. I think we've done the 60s. You guys have a good one and take care.